All right, we continue on with chapter 2, and we are going to add some users today. What a fun. All right, so I already have my book open, and this is where we left off, and I opened up my QuickBooks so we can just jump right in. All right, as always, please read that. And we're going to jump right into Develop Your Skills 2.5. And it is very important to know this function because sometimes you have a bookkeeper working for you, or you have a friend who helps you during your time that you establish your business, and then later on you may be not so happy with him and you just say, hey, let's stay friends but separate in business purposes. All these kind of things happen, and so you need to be able to immediately change the user settings. I had to do that with my company when some of my people left, and I had to immediately block them from all access. All right, so we're here, and that's not where we're supposed to be because it says gear your company, manage users. Okay, we're gear company, manage users. It's just going to open up a different type. So you see, I'm the only user. I'm the primary admin. And then, so what we're going to do, we're going to add a new user. And they want us to add a new company admin, which we're going to do. And there is nothing else we need to do because we're setting up a user account for Sadie, and Sadie has full access. So we don't need to limit her access as a standard user, or we don't have to say, oh, she can only do reports or time tracking only. So when you're going to be a pro advisor QuickBooks user, you're going to have different settings, and your client is not able to go into your QuickBooks and work your QuickBooks. They have their separate QuickBooks, and they just allow you to go into their QuickBooks. But because your signature will be your name and your email address, it is always traceable who did what. If you let them go in your QuickBooks and let them make changes, it will be your signature. And in 2 or 3 years, somebody will come back and say, hey, what did you do? And you're like, did I really do that? But you can't prove it because your signature says that it's been you. So don't open up your signature block, and always try to keep yours and others. Don't ever mix these things. Okay, so let me wait for the code to come in. Text code. All right. So, and you see, you have to put a code in because it is a security measurement. You set up a new admin, and the admin can do everything. So therefore, they want to know, hey, is it really you? All right, so her name is Sadie, and you can find this information here. And her last name is Garrison. We have an email address that is sgarrison@gmail.com. Let's check this one more time. Garrison. Okay, we click save. So that person has now been invited, which you can see here, to join as an admin. Okay. And you can delete this invitation, and then once they're set, you can also see what they're doing. As I said, blue buttons and arrows, they are your friend, but be careful when it says save, delete, change or whatever, because then you actually make changes to the system. But just by clicking here and here, it just doesn't do that. But if I go here and delete, it will delete Sadie, and we don't want this. All right, so now the book prompts us to go back to dashboard, which we're doing. And now we're saying next. Opening balances and historical transactions. So this is very important if the company has been in use for quite some time and you just start doing a bookkeeping different and you don't have the luxury to import the data that already exists. Let's say Sadie did her books so far in on paper. There are still people who do it on paper. They're not used to an electronic system. There are people who do it in Excel and they don't want to use a system. I went away from that. So I used to be an Excel girl. I'm still an Excel girl, but I only do it for analysis purposes or for setting up a budget. We're going to learn about budget in QuickBooks, but sometimes your budget is just different from what QuickBooks can offer you. All right, so Sadie has given you a list of her investment and purchases. In this exercise, you will use the list to enter Sadie's initial opening, deposit, and other transactions into her checking account register. All right, so we have to go to chart of accounts. I'm using my shortcut. And then you register at the right end of Los Angeles City Bank. This is here, you register. And we can see that there's nothing here yet. So okay. And then, so we're going to do, okay, sometimes it's just not funny because it says to enter Sadie's initial deposit, choose add check, menu, button, deposit. Okay, so I'm not sure where this add button is, but what you can also do is you can also do a bank deposit and it should come up like this. That's one thing, but why doesn't it say, so if I go here, new import, you register, commercial edit, connect bank. So it says choose add check menu button. Okay, there's a reconciliation, but I don't see an add button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be blunt and say it's going to be see, this is weird. Menu button here, deposit on the left side of the bank register window. Okay, that's the bank register window, and it does not give me an option to add a check unless I'm, oh, here. Well, sorry guys, I was looking for something blue or black. It's been great this time. Okay, so let's get over it. We're going to add the check and we're going to say it is 7/5/2026. I made the mistake that I always put a different date in, like 2023. So make sure that you stay within the year, otherwise your reports will not be complete or correct. All right, so do we have a reference number? There's no reference number. We do not have a payee, but we do have a memo, which is initial investment. Then the payment is $75,000 deposit, and it's an owner investment. Okay, so let's double check 7526, nothing, initial investment, payment $75,000, deposit, owner investment. Okay, and I double check because you know, I'm not doing the bookkeeping for somebody where I'm 100% sure about what I'm doing. I'm actually reading off the book, and it doesn't require my bookkeeping skill. It's just requiring me to learn and follow the book. So that's why I double check my work twice, because I have done silly mistakes with the course last semester. And I just try to avoid that again. All right, so we saved it. Now it shows up. Also, when you go in here, and this is the bank deposit that was created, and you go down here, you can actually see what has been done, and you can see the complete journal transaction. So let me show you something cool. You go in your Canvas. Okay. And then you go, sorry, that's just my craziness that's going on. You go in here, and this is your course, and you see this stuff here. So this is your little helper, and you don't have those green buttons. It's on Dr. Lambert's side. But let's see, here's your transaction list with splits for 2. So what I did, I opened that up, and you can actually save it. Let's save it so I can open up the way I want it. And then if you go here, these are all the transactions you're going to do in chapter 2. And if I go here and say, okay, I have done that deposit of $75,000, then just look here, initial investment, Los Angeles. Okay. So that is completely okay. And the date is different. So I made I experienced that the book says something else than the transaction list does say. And I spoke to Dr. Lambert, and he said, please follow the book. This should just give you an indicator that the numbers are correct, that the accounts are correct. One account is labeled differently in those transaction lists. You just stick with what QuickBooks has. And then also the name, and just follow this. And if the date is different, double check with the book and you'll be fine. Okay, so utilize that tool. It will save you a lot of headaches. And where can you find that transaction list with splits? You go to your reports, which is right here. And then let's make it a saved item, transaction list with splits. It's right here. And you have to run the report and say all days. And here we go. You can see exactly what's on here. And I just like that. Okay. You see deposit. You see, this is just if it was an adjustment. You don't really need this right now. And I have never seen that it was marked off as a mistake because it wasn't in there. Yes, initial investment, Los Angeles City Bank. So all good. So now we just have to continue to add these to it. And we go back to the book right here. Let's go to the dashboard and let me just find this transaction list by split, which is in the accountant section here. You see for my accountant, and then it's here. So I'm going to mark this. So I will have it up here now. Okay, so we did the $75,000. And now it says enter the remaining bank transactions. Okay, so let's go back to our chart of account. Go to the register. And then type in the remaining transaction. Okay, click add deposit menu and choose check. Okay, add deposit check. And then we have, it's a little smaller. We do have July 5, 2026. And then it says payee. Reference field. It actually wants us to put something in the reference field this time. Oh no, this silly mouse. Okay, check 75. Okay, and then type Ace groomer and supply in the payee field. Ace groomer and supply company. And you see it's not coming up except for an @ So now we're going to add this. It's a vendor, as it says here, and we're just going to click save. All right. Then it says at the bottom of the pop-up draw, okay, type $16,000 for the payment. Okay. And then type salon equipment. In the memo. And I experienced that you can be quite creative with the memos. I have not seen anything that says wrong, but I always did it exactly how the book says it in the transaction list. Okay, in that kind of field. Okay, so here's a okay, I know that looks really weird today, but payee account, that's the account field, because you can see here, the first one is the payee and then the account, and it also states here. So it wants me to put in, so type salon equipment in the account field and tab. Oh, okay, yes. So that's the problem when I don't read the book, I don't get it all. So salon equipment, and they want us to add this account. And we already added an account, but now it's a different account. It's an asset account. So we go to fixed assets, which is right here. And then the detail type is machinery and equipment. So let's see this. Okay. And then the name is salon equipment. That's correct. It is not a sub account. And we do not want to track depreciation as of right now. Okay. Save and close. Now we have that, and we have entered everything. 7526, Ace Groomer and Supply Company. It is salon equipment. And then we have $16,000 salon equipment, and then we're just going to save it. So now you can see that this is here. So let's go to our transaction list, which is here, and see, cancel, if that is correct. So let's go here, reports, all dates. And you can see that this is not correct. So we did something wrong. I did something wrong. So that is supposed to be an expense. That is supposed to be something that comes in to the bank that goes out. So that obviously was not done properly. So we can either go here and go in our last deposit, which is here, or we can go into the bank register and click on it. So let's see. You see, we can click on it and let's see. Oh, of course I did that wrong. My apologies. That should not be this one. So this one should be different. Save. And now you see it's on the different side. It's here. So what did I do wrong? Well, I can tell you what I did wrong. Edit. Here, I put a minus in because we are now in the bank deposit. But I should have, if you go here, bank register, add deposit, check. You see here it's payment, and I put it in into the deposit. So this is where it should have been in the $16,000. But because I put a negative sign in front of the deposit, and I go back here, let's go here, edit. Because I put a negative sign in front of it, now it comes up as payment. Okay, so I'm not sure how that will look like now. Reports, transaction list. Let's look at the transaction list. And you see now it's correct. So put it in the payment box. If you made a mistake like me and you put it in a deposit box, just go back and put the negative sign in front of it. The system will automatically put it on the credit side of your journal entry. All right, so now we go back to the book. We have done the salon equipment, enter the remaining transaction. Okay. So the next one is the self-assessment, but we still need to put this in here. All right, so let's go back to chart of account, go to register, add check, and then we're gonna have 5/7, no, it's different, 7/5/2026. So let's see if it will come up after your test. Care company. Yeah, so we definitely have to finish this first. Okay, it doesn't give me a reference type. It did give me one here, 101, but it didn't give me any more. So let's go up here in our transaction list, and you will see that actually it's $1,002. Okay, so this is when I get confused with this book, because it says here it says you will enter the remaining transactions, which is multiple, which implies all of these, but it does not give me, like here it says 710, 715. So let me just scroll through it right quick if it comes up in a later exercise, because here now we're going to put in more services that have been displayed earlier. And I just want to make sure that we have it set up and not doing it earlier than we're supposed to do. Complete this chart of account. Okay, complete your services. And then complete this. All right. And then check the figures. All right, so I don't see anything that we're supposed to do that, and it doesn't show here. Actually, it shows that we're gonna do the business license, and then that's it. So it only shows me the business license. And my apologies, it's just sometimes that book is not very specific. Okay, so business license. Click menu. Yeah, it doesn't really say anything about business license. And that doesn't show up because it's on a picture. Okay. All right, so here we go. It is in the reinforce your skills. So we're just going to go back and say we're done for this right now. Just let me put this back here. Okay. So we added the salon equipment, and now we just save and close. We did save it, this right here, and then we go to dashboard. All right. So you're going to click through and you're going to do your self-assessment. And then you do your reinforce your skills, which will be in a separate video.